I don't know. The race thing is tiring for people like us because we're just like, we'll try and sit and like have an actual like conversation about like something that's going on, something in the world, and then someone's like, well, if it wasn't for 300 years of slavery, and we're just like, what the fuck? You're like, really? Like, this is what we're coming back to? Like, it's
get over it.
And there was it was, I think it was a couple shows ago and I mentioned this as well. It was like, what? Well, like 400 years or 300 years, whatever, how many years they want to apply to that is like, were you in the chains with them? Like,
yeah, right.
Did you grow up in the plantation with the rest of them? Because if not, shut up. It seems like you got it pretty good in comparison.
Yeah. Right. And I would say, it's not to disparage the people who I think have actually experienced some sort of oppression. I'm sure it exists around.
Everybody does.
Right. But the idea that it's a systemic issue is tiring. I'm so sick of hearing. I was like, what? Like, there's plenty of people out there who have made a life for themselves. I mean, for fuck's sake, we had Obama as a president not 8 years ago or whatever it is now. Like what? Like, why?
We just had two giant stars. Okay, in their time, they were both giant stars. Have a slap fight on national television. Black people could do whatever they want to do in America. Okay, I do not believe there's any facet of American culture that you cannot be a part of in the modern day. I always think about this. I had to take a weird class about business, and I found this out. The CEO of McDonald's, the largest fast food chain of all time. It's infected everybody all across the world.
Wendy's is better.
They're fries, dude. I can't believe you just say that. Anyway,
the blasphemy.
Blasphemy. Anyways, the CEO for a long time was a black man, and he started as a janitor in McDonald's and worked his way all the way up to CEO. He's a black man. Okay, so you can't. He was in, and this was like the early 2000s. Okay, so that was before the dark times, before all of the millennials figured out that history happened.
Sounds like
do whatever they want. Okay,
sounds like a tap dancing.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, and how is that? Like, how funny is that too? Like, because I agree with you, Garrett. I 100% agree. Like, these are, and you find these cases everywhere. It's not just, it's not just like a one-off, once a decade. Like, they're everywhere. I follow a lot of great people on Twitter who are just, their stories are very similar. Like, they started somewhere, in poverty, and they worked themselves up. That, they had to do a lot of after school stuff, and even people who were down a dark path for a while, and then later in their adulthood, pulled it through. Like, these are things that just people ignore. And it's a tired argument, in my opinion. And it's doing way more harm than good. And for some reason, people allow it to continue.
I feel like it's something to constantly browbeat you into submission, ultimately, with thinking that you're lesser than. My country thinks that I am a slave. Ultimately down, they think I'm a slave. They won't let me do anything. Then you just live with that mentality forever. I know people that do it. They live with that mentality and go, well, I can never get any better than this, so I'll just do this forever. They don't think you should be told, regardless of the past, that was horrible. I disagree with it. I wish we never did it, but we did it. We're here now. I can't think of another social group that is more engrossed in Americana than the black half of our country. Like, think of it all the way back to, it was horrible, but we're so connected. I would say almost more than any other. There's like Italians and Irish and then Chinese and Japanese, but they all came later. A lot of it was real early, engrossed in American history. So at this point, it sucks, but I would take that as a win. Okay, we take it as a win. You made it through. And you're becoming presidents. You're becoming CEOs. You're becoming pop stars at the top level. Massive movie stars. People look up to you. We have overcome. Okay, we have overcome. Now it's time to just live and stop dwelling on the past like they do. But I can go on that shit for forever.
Right.
You too?
And
Shit pisses
especially
me off.
now. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I was gonna say, like, especially now, like, there's never been an easier time to be a self-made man or woman, self-made person.
Right.
Like, it's I mean, people go on TikTok and talk nonsense, and they're making money hand over fist, and they're legit lying to you, and they're making millions of dollars. Like,
the funniest part about that is that there are TikTokers out there who have outed themselves in the process too, of like talking with people like Jen Psaki as far as like what they should be telling the public. It's like, what you can make money being a mouthpiece. Race be damned, gender be damned. You can make money simply saying exactly what it is the government wants you to say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's how easy it is to make money. And people are complaining about some of the dumbest things that have no bearing over their lives. Like, what are we doing? What are y'all doing? Sorry,
people need to wake up and realize that it is not the government. It's not this big scary white supremacy that's keeping them from getting their goals. It is themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, and people's complete lack of faith in themselves for sure. And it goes back to, they've talked about it a lot over the past couple of years, how there's culture has been just eroded so much, and a lot of times in Black communities and in the inner cities, largely due to policies established years ago, that just keeps people, it literally keeps like the boot on the neck, and coupled
invisible chains.
Right.
It's invisible chains that are putting you back into slavery. It's just called something else. The massa, he gave you a house, he gave you food, he gave you clothes. What do they do now? The government gives you a house, it gives you clothes, it gives you a job, it gives you a fucking Obama phone. It's the same
give you
shit.
food. They give you food.
Don't forget the crack pipes.
The crack pipes too. Yeah, the crack pipes.
So,
but they do give you food. It's just in the
sorry,
form
I didn't mean
of
to cut you up, Swag.
Hey, look, man, it's all good. It's all good.
Well, that's, and because I do think it is partially government, because again, they're like, because you do have a portion of government, and both, I mean, Republicans and Democrats, that will often push these policies that do like keep people sort of stuck to that government teat. Mm-hmm. And I think less so Republicans, but I mean, without a doubt, Democrats. It's what's the word I'm looking for? Right. And that begs the question, is like, well, why are all the, you have all these countries who are in turmoil, and we're just like, yeah, let's bring all these immigrants over. It's like, what's the plan for them? Is that their voter base?
At all. It's so
well, it helps them because it helps them because
more low information voters come right on over.
Exactly. So because the Democrats brought us over, not the evil Republicans.
So then we're going to get another 4 years of the refurbished animatronic covered in year-old mayonnaise.
Oh, God. Yes. Probably.
Corn Pop. He's bad dude.
That's a bad man. Oh, it's the
rub
Easter
the
Bunny.
hairs on my leg.
Rub the hairs on my leg.
Used to sit on my lap. Kids love sitting on my lap.
I used to think
that's my favorite one. That's my favorite one.
And I used to think that Bush was like hard to listen to, and then Biden came along and was like, "Hold my beer."
He was like, "Hop a damn lick of beer," and then you're like, "What?" He's like,
"Oh my God!"
You saw where the Easter Bunny.
The Easter Bunny.
Here's a question for you guys.
With a ghost.
How long?
Where am I?
Well, he has to acknowledge his voters.
There you go.
How long before we get a Hunter Biden movie directed by Quentin Tarantino? Like
2 days.
Can you just see it? Like, that would be an amazing movie. He would.
Fantastic.
Saying N-words all over the place.
Right?
You get some guy in there talking about masks. You have to wear your mask all day, and he starts firing off at the hip.
Oh my God!
Buscemi. Buscemi's playing Fauci. 100%.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Wear your mask, fellow kids. Bang.